In three, two. Hey, what's up, Sandy? We got a guest.
Hey, I'm excited about this guest. Yeah, so happy Tuesday, everybody.
Yeah, happy Tuesday. Ali, what's up, man? How's it going?
Hi, everyone. It's Ali from Docsites. Great to see you. Great to see Sandy. Thank you so much for having me.
No, yeah, thank you for being on. We appreciate everything you do. We're excited about this episode because we're going to dive in on specifics with marketing and front office. And break it down to us, Sandy, real quick. What does that have to do with
Well,
all this?
first, I just want to say that one thing that I really love about dog sites, well, actually, there's a lot, but one thing that really got my attention from the very beginning was how this company is more than I'll build your website. It's like they seem to really understand the whole picture. Like it's not just a website, like there's different components that affect the practice. And we were talking before we even got on here today, and there's just some great points to be made. So make sure everybody you stay tuned because you have a website, but it's not just a website. And people are like, well, as a consultant, one of the first things we do whenever people call and they're interested in consulting is we go on their website. And I'm telling you, it's awful what we see. And people don't even realize it. They think, oh, I've got this web address and there it is. And now we can just leave it alone. They never update. I was looking for a doctor this week
Mhm.
and I went on their website and I couldn't find a photo of the doctor. And I didn't like that. Like I wanted to see the doctor. Okay. And so you could tell they were stock pictures, even of the team. And so that was one thing that I really didn't care about. But I think, and I'm not a specialist in website, but I do have common sense and I am a shopper. So what about when you can't find a phone number? It's like it's got to be here somewhere. Like I realize that I can jump on and schedule right here, but maybe I want to talk to them. So, but again, I'm not the pro, but there's some basic things. And then you spend all this money on a website, or maybe you're doing marketing, and then somebody says, "Yeah, I think I'm going to call that dental practice," and nobody answers the phone. And if they do answer, maybe it's a recording, and then maybe the person, well, they don't really want to talk to a recording. Who wants to talk to a recording? They just hang
Mhm.
up, right? So when you invest in a website, you invest in marketing, you better have that front office trained and a live person answering the phone. Okay, so that's what's important to me.
Yeah, I 100%. Ollie, let me ask you this. Where do you see the disconnect where the front office and maybe the marketing team or the website or anything, it's not aligned? And sometimes the blame falls on either the front office or the marketing, but it should be both working cohesively.
Right, and it's always pointing the finger, but it shouldn't be that way. We should be communicating with the front office. We have a lot of relationships with front office people that call us that put their specials online, and that's what works is when we communicate. When the marketing company, you pay them to generate leads, however they do it, SEO, ads, however they get you those leads. That lead becomes either a phone call or your web form submission or something triggers an action or a phone call or an email to come in, and your staff now has to follow up. And what happens is they're busy doing 10 other things. That guy has a toothache. He's going to go to the next website on Google. It's basically the game of who gets him faster. Once you get him on the phone, can you sell him? And by sell him, I mean, can you sell your service? And, you have to have someone that's sharp on the phone, someone that could say, hey, I saw you, you have a toothache, you're looking for an appointment this Saturday or whatever it is, to try to really get them in the door. And if you don't have that person, the marketing dollars go to waste. Then you're mad at marketing companies for, the marketing company can't put the patient in the chair, but they could help facilitate that lead. And then it's up to the office to work with us or whatever makes it, you want to chat on your website, you want to text us. However, we could help work with the office to make sure that when that lead comes in, there's a priority on that. Someone's answering them, someone's getting them into the chair. And then, once you get them in the chair, it's the whole case acceptance and the doctor doing their job and where it goes from there. So it's a collaborative effort.
Hmm.
Yes, absolutely. And you mentioned case acceptance. here's what a lot of people, I have a lot to say about this part, but what a lot of people don't realize is that case acceptance starts long before the patient arrives. So that case acceptance starts when they see the website, when they see reviews online, when they see photos, before and after photos, where they have the confidence going into that practice. And another thing is whenever that that first call takes place, or maybe they had to leave a message, you've got to think about speed of service. Like, how soon are they going to get a call back?
Mhm.
It better be quickly. It better be within minutes, because
And
they're going to
often,
go on to some other office.
and oftentimes, if they don't pick up on that first attempt, that lead then goes in the trash where there should be another follow-up procedure, email them twice, call them that week, try to get them in. Don't just one attempt and call it done, because that could be a big case, or that could be something valuable to your office. You paid the marketing company to generate that. So don't just let him go on the first call like, oh, he was busy, whatever. Have
Most certainly.
have a
I
system.
often, yeah, I agree with you 100%. And I think what happens, because I've listened to literally countless phone calls. And I know that doctors spend money on marketing and they want to drive people to the phone, okay, to check out their website, to the telephone, to make that call, to reach out to, but that person answering the phone, I mean, I have a whole list of things that I hear that's like calling the prospective patient baby, uh, going or honey, or going into this long thing about, oh, don't, don't come this week because there's so much traffic. They're doing road construction. I mean, really, did you just tell a prospective new patient that?
Mhm.
And letting that call go on and on and on, and never even asking for the appointment. And then once you make the appointment, another thing is that you always want to end off with, I'm so glad you found us. We're going to be able to help you. I'm looking forward to meeting you. Those verbal skills where you start that relationship right away are
And if I
so
could interrupt for 1 second, another great question they could ask is, how did you find us? Once they
always.
initiate, because then you could say, hey, they found us on Google, or they were from an insurance directory, or someone referred them. And that way, you know where your marketing dollars are being spent well. And that's always a great question, is how did you find us? We always ask.
Always. Yeah. That
Mhm.
that should be, and it could be, is how did you hear about us? Who can we thank for referring you? But you know what? You bring that up. And I know when I managed a practice before I started consulting, it was so hard to get team members to get that information. And back in the day where everybody filled out their registration when they got there, it's like that was always blank. And that receptionist would fail to go out and get that information that you're saying. And to me, that's really important and very basic. And so the doctor I worked for, he would be like, okay, you need to go back out there and find out who referred them to the office. And another thing that you want to do is thank the person that referred them. You want to track that. When we go into offices as consultants, we pull these reports, or we use practice by numbers, and we can pull it up and we can see who's been referring. And it's just shocking how many times that's never entered into the computer. So that's a great point that you bring up.
Yes, and,
Mhm.
and it also goes back to the first impression you were talking about, where
Mhm.
they'll judge you on your website. That's the only thing they see now before they actually come into your practice. That's the only way they could get their information. So make sure you represent yourself properly. Like you're saying, the doctor page is like always in the top 5 most viewed pages. And you need to give it love. You need to put a professional photo, a bio, your associations, maybe specialty training. People look at these things and you'll be amazed. Like Sandy's saying, we're all shoppers. We're all going to look at your reviews. If I'm taking my kid or someone to their doctor, I'm going to check out their reviews. I'm going to make that extra time to go through their website and see if they're the person I should choose, because I don't know them and I want to feel comfortable going into an office. I want to see nice photos. Like you were saying, if the website's old, they might think your office is old, and they'll judge you based off that first impression.
Totally.
Mhm. Yeah. Something you all both brought up that I'm interested is, and maybe Ali, if you can, I want to hear your point on this, is what will lower the case acceptance on a web? So, for example, if I'm getting on a website, what are the must-haves to have on this website in order for the case acceptance when I do come in? Let's just say I've scheduled already, I've gotten everything in there. I'm like, oh yeah, let me go check to see where my practice this person is at. I go on your website. What are some must-haves on there besides the number, besides like the doctor bio, where that will heighten the case acceptance
So
percentage?
let's use Invisalign for an example. Someone wants to generate Invisalign leads, they want to close Invisalign cases. It all goes back to first being found for Invisalign. If I search Invisalign in your city, Invisalign dentist, you get found. Okay, so the potential patient is searching Invisalign, they find your website. Now they find your website, what's going to sell them? They're already looking for Invisalign. Your before afters go a long way. Many doctors don't take before afters, they don't showcase their work. That becomes content for Instagram, whatever they want. That's great content of those before afters. So if someone's looking to get Invisalign, they want to see your work. So before afters is a big thing. All our websites have before after pages. So that's definitely one thing to show off. Second is, do you have a free consult? Maybe you have a free Invisalign, some incentive. We have a iTero scan you could come in and do before treatment, or we could picture, our technology could show how your smile can look, come in for that appointment. Your website has to have all those sales tools for that person to actually pick up the phone, and then you then take those other steps of selling it. But financing or payment options, can you help them with payments if it's a big case, or do you have different in-house plans? Maybe your reviews go a long way. Um, Even taking videos of all your patients. If you're doing Invisalign, everyone that gets it taken off, just a quick video. Hey, I'm so happy, my life's changed, I love my smile. Put those on your website, put those on YouTube, put those on social media. You could have so much good content that will help you sell that case acceptance rate will go up quite a bit just by putting those few things in place before.
Nice. Okay, I like that. So they have the before and afters, free incentives, things like that. Anything, Sandy? You want to say?
That was just really good points he made. A lot of good points. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so another thing that you brought up was like marketing. So like Google ads and things like that, because that's what's going to drive people. It's going to drive people there. And so once they call, because we were talking about the telephone, I'll tell you is that I'm working with a couple of practices right now that they're doing Google ads, but the new patients aren't showing up. And so what we have found is they're not getting them in fast enough. So whenever somebody, because Amazon has done this to us, okay? Amazon has us spoiled. We can go on, we can order something, we can get it right away. So that's how we think. That's how whenever we're looking for something, we don't want to wait. So if I finally decide to go to the dentist, like I know and I need to go, and this is the real world, because less than half the people ever born have been to the dentist. And only 38% of adults in the United States go to the dentist every year. So dealing with those numbers, dealing with those statistics, once someone picks up the phone, makes the attempt to get in, they need to be scheduled within 7 work days, because we have done a lot of studies on this, and the likelihood of them breaking an appointment, it just shoots up after 7 days. So they have got to get in. It's very important.
Mm-hmm.
That's so true.
Yeah. I was gonna say that's where they work together, right? Like the front office and the marketing team. Do you feel like that works pretty well with Docsites, or where do you see the road bumps there, Ali?
In terms of
The communication
the
with the
communication.
front office.
Yeah, so it often goes back to, sorry, 1 second, my screen. Sorry, I just got disconnected.
Okay, we can see you. Yeah.
Okay, sorry, what was the question again? I didn't hear that last part.
No, I said, do you normally see that transition where the communication with the front office and you guys like Docsites, it's pretty easy, or do you reach out, or how does that work?
I mean, we try to reach, we always, the leads go directly to the office, whether that's from our website, or some patients have call tracking, some clients, use different systems to then monitor their leads internally. So the ones that are doing like Google ads, like Sandy was saying, they do the Google ads, they get the calls, and then either they don't have the system in place to, get that factory line of, hey, they need a call, they need an appointment, they get in the chair. There's like the whole uh, line items of things that need to be done when that lead comes to your office. But when you're doing the Google ads, you should be prepared for that before you start the Google ads. Or a lot of times, like offices will put a lot of money into marketing and then they're not prepared for what's going to happen after. And then a lot of the leads drop off and then they're not happy with the results. Where on the flip side, like a lot of offices do Google ads and they waste a lot of money because the ads are not showing up properly in their location, or they're targeting too broad, or they're sending an Invisalign ad to the homepage that has nothing to do with Invisalign. So there's a lot of Google ads, SEO, all of that is part of your marketing. But there's also the other side, the offline side, the word of mouth, the what do you do offline. A lot of times dentists think like SEO and Google ads, that's it. I'm just going to put some money into Google ads and SEO, and that's my marketing, and I don't look at anything else. Where that's not the case anymore. Maybe 10 years ago, SEO was new and it wasn't saturated and everyone could get easily up on page one of Google. But now it's so competitive that like it's everything now. It's your reviews, it's your website, it's your first impression, it's your offers, it's your staff, it's everything works together. It's like you're saying, hire a marketing company, have your staff talk to them and make sure everyone's on the same page. Make sure you just review the website for 10 minutes together. Hey, is our latest technology there? Do we want to show our staff on the website? Do we want to put our insurances? Just the basics, get them all covered. Whatever's going on in your office should be reflected on your website, whether that's staff changes, technology upgrades, photos of new remodeling, whatever it is. Our service always includes updates as part of the no additional cost. So we actually recommend offices sending us things to help personalize our website, because we don't want it to just look stock. And now we could put videos there and send us quick clips with iPhones. You don't need a professional photo shoot anymore. You could do all this with your smartphone, and we make it real easy to get it to us. And we try to make life easy for the offices. You don't want to sit and resize photos.
That sounds great. I do have a question for you. How often do you recommend a practice update their website?
As often as their office changes. If their staff changes, right away update the website. If you have a new cone beam machine, put it on the website. If the doctor brings in an associate, let's add them to the website. It should constantly reflect your practice. It's always dynamic. A website that doesn't change is dead. You have to always update your website. It's always evolving. It's just like a reflection of your practice on the web.
Okay, I can see that. Now let me ask you, let's say that someone has a website with you guys. You design the website and 4 months later there needs to be a change, or 6 months later. So how much is there a cost to that? Or
no, so our minimum monthly fee, if you just want the website, no marketing, is only $59. That includes hosting, SSL certificate, and updates by request. So there's no additional cost. If you're paying that $59 and every month your staff changes, or you want to add insurance or offers or care credit, whatever you want to add to your website is all taken care of in that $59. And that's something that often dentists don't know, is like who does. A lot of dentists don't have that person to update their website. They might be hosting it themselves and they don't have that person that could log in. They waste their staff's time trying to figure out some old WordPress site. And there's a lot of things we could do to make the life of an office staff easy. You don't have to play web developer in the office.
You have no idea the thousands of dollars that I pay our website people. Thousands. Oh my goodness, that's quite a deal. Yeah, I want to circle back to us talking about how important that phone call is, because it's so important. But you brought up something about sharing with the team the website. wow, do you know in the real world what I've seen out there? It's like I've actually made mystery shopper calls to practices more than I can even count, where I've asked, do you have a website? And the person answering the phone says no. And I'm looking at the website. Or they say, yeah, but I don't know what it is. And then they're like, hey, Susan, what's our website address? You don't know? Oh, Desiree, what's our website? Like, seriously.
Yeah.
And so I think that in itself, every listener should do next week with their team. I mean, they need to put the website up on a big monitor and go over every part of it and make sure that the person answering the phone understands what these procedures are. Because I called one office and I said, do you do bleachings? And she said, no, but we do bonding. So she obviously didn't know much.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
like you're saying, a lot of times the dentists communicate with us directly. So they say, hey, add all on four now to my implant practice. And then the staff might not know that that's been added. So when someone calls, then, I mean, like you're saying, everyone has to get on the same page. That also goes to reviews too. If you want your practice to get more reviews, you have to make it a team effort. You have to get everyone involved, from the saying hello at the front door to saying goodbye, and everyone in between there has to contribute to getting that positive review. And if you make it a team effort and everyone gets a pizza party if we get X amount number of reviews, or make it something where it's everyone likes it and it's fun and everyone is happy and wants to be at work, and the patient is happy coming in.
I always say this, Michael and I talk about it all the time. It's like the only thing that's going to separate you from the practice next door across the street is the experience, what they remember. And it's going to be like, it's not going to remember anything you said. It's going to be how you made them feel. And it's so important. So all this ties into that. It's like they can go anywhere and get a cleaning or get a filling, but what you do within your own four walls really makes a difference. And it starts from that website or that Google ad, that website, that phone call when they walk in the door, and the service. Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I agree. I like that. I think, Sandy, you're right. Everybody should, within this week or sometime in their next team meeting, right, sit down, look at the website that they have, look for changes, make updates, right? And then if Ollie, they are like, okay, this is what I want to do. Let's just say they have a company they work with. The company's like, okay, well, we're going to charge you for this and that. And then they're like, oh my gosh,
$5,000.
it's going to be like $5, something like that. If they want to, if that's the case, then they're going to reach out to you, right? When they reach out to you, how easy is it for you to get their info from the company and transition to, you know what I mean? Like your land.
So let everyone should know, changing your website's not like changing your internet service provider. Like when you move offices and you have to change your cable company and that headache and the phone number switching, it's nothing like that. It's basically you have a domain name. That domain is in 80% of the cases in a client's GoDaddy network solutions, and somewhere their current website is being hosted by their current marketing company. And all they have to do is put in a cancellation notice and get access to the domain and point to the new site. So in most cases, we build them a new site, we get everything ready on a private link, make sure everyone's happy, and then they shut off their old website and they point the domain to the new server. But it's much easier than changing your internet. We actually have something called easy site transfer, where we help you throughout that process, because sometimes they don't know where their domain is or they need help accessing that information, and we help make life easy. But in most cases, it's a pretty straightforward process.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, because I would want you to handle all that. I'd be like, okay, can't.
We do all that. You don't want to deal with DNS and A records and domain names, servers, and all that.
No.
Yeah. Okay, no, that's good to know. Good to know. So that's how they get the info from the other company. Anything else, Sandy?
Well, I think it's something everybody should look into. I think when you have that meeting with your team, check out your website. I mean, if you have that same old website, might be time for an update.
Yeah, and feel free to reach out to us directly. Personally, you can reach out to me on Facebook and we'll do a complimentary review, very unbiased, no sales. I'm not pressuring anything. Just I'll give you free info. You could take it to your current marketing person. You could take it to your whoever does your web updates, and you could make the most out of a 10-15 minute phone call, and I'll give you tips, that you may be missing. You may have great reviews, but they're nowhere on your website. That's the number one issue we always see is like offices work hard getting reviews, but then they don't do a good job showing it off.
Yeah. The quick question: where would you put that on a web? Should it be on a separate page or?
So we always have a reviews page. So that way we could also optimize it. For example, Happy Tooth Dental reviews. When a patient Googles, Happy Tooth Dental reviews, the chance of the reviews page showing up is high because it's optimized for reviews. And we show the reviews there, but we also show them on the homepage. We also put them like in the header so you could always see them. So practices with like 300, 500 plus reviews, we always put like, we put that up there and show it off. Like we have over 500 positive reviews, or we make it very prominent.
Mm,
Nice.
okay, that's good. That's good.
We pull them directly from Google, Yelp, Facebook. So it's just embedded directly from there. So it's not like just a text testimonial that anyone could make up. These are actually being pulled from Google and Yelp and Facebook and wherever you guys are making the effort to get those reviews.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Used to be back in the day, dental practices and businesses had a listing in the phone book. Remember those phone books?
Yeah.
Michael, you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
The yellow pages.
Phone books.
Yeah.
And yeah. So we don't have that anymore. You count on looking for websites, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like that's what we look for as consumers.
Yeah, you're right.
Get familiar and find out. And I think listing what you do in the practice is important. It's like a lot of times people they're just barely, and you can tell for some offices that they actually created their website themselves. You can tell.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't want that. That starts the image right off.
Yeah, and don't be afraid of putting yourself out there, putting nice photos out there, making it personal, showing your office. That's what people want to see. People want to see who they're going to see. They want to see their doctor before they walk into the office. So make sure you show that, because when you don't, they're just gonna have, not the best impression.
That's me. I'm looking for this office, and I was like, I got referred by my doctor over there, and I was like, I couldn't really find a picture of him. I was like, I want to see this guy. I'd like to know how much experience he has, right? I don't want to know if he just started practicing. So.
And one quick last note would be your website is typically the only thing you could control, the only place you could put your nice photo. Whereas if you Google your name, you might have an old photo on like a WebMD, you might have a, ZocDoc profile from 10 years ago. So
or maybe somebody's photo comes up that's not even you.
Yeah, or maybe
the same name.
People like post their photos from the office, the websites where you control everything. You can't control Facebook, Google, Yelp, none of those places. But the website, you could say, I only want to see my 5-star reviews. I only want to see my top quality photos. I always want to have my staff updated. I always want to reflect my practice the way I want people to see it when they open the door.
And colors are important too, right?
Warm colors, yes. There's psychology behind that. Don't show bloody teeth photos, and don't show sharp tools, and make it nice, warm, friendly, a personal look and feel. Just a warm, welcoming website. That's really it.
Do you ever put videos? Like, do people ever do like a video tour of their practice?
All the time. Video tours, office tours, technology. Videos are better than just text. If a doctor, like sometimes we do video shoots, we just have a doctor talk about himself. We do some patient testimonials. We do a tour of their office, and you could do that yourself. You don't have to hire a professional company. You could do that with your phone. You could set up your phone and just sit there and talk about your approach to implants or whatever, Invisalign or whatever you want to get found for.
Beautiful. Perfect.
I like that. One last question I want to ask you is that, because Sandy brought it up, the list of procedures, right? Like we do root canals, all these things. Do you think it's best to try and list all the procedures we do, or is it better to hyper focus on like the ones that we want to mainly do?
Yeah, so we always ask, what are your top three services that you'd like to promote? Yes, some of them, some dentists just say we're just a GP, bread and butter, just show everything. Whereas some say, I do have everything, but now I'm offering core teeth whitening or Sure Smile or Invisalign, and those are the things they want to promote because they're bigger money makers, they're longer term patients, they're better, just they're the type of treatments they want to do. So it's always dependent on the office. So we always ask in our initial questionnaire, like, what services do you want to be found for? What do you like to show? So maybe on the homepage we feature that service versus, just putting it in the list of everything else.
Very good
Awesome.
point. Um, I had to go to the doctor for my checkup, and he wants me to be checked for sleep apnea of all things. I'm like, maybe, okay, maybe I have sleep apnea. I don't know. So I was looking for somebody to make an appliance. Okay. So I'm
Mhm.
looking on the website to the dentist that we go to locally, and there's nothing about sleep apnea. So that's why I started looking for somebody in town. And I came across this website, and I thought, this is interesting. I can't even find his picture. So then I went ahead and called our regular office, and they go, yeah, we do sleep apnea appliances. Well, I go get tested like tomorrow, but I don't, if I do have it, it's a very mild case. So I'm not going to wear, the machine
Yeah.
or anything, but I will wear an appliance. And they're like, yeah, we do that. I was like, well, I didn't see it on your website. So see,
Yeah.
I almost went to see somebody else.
Ah, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Okay. That's good. Good
Yeah.
to know. Good to
And
know.
then the sleep clinic sent me, when I talk about this all the time, Michael, it's like I don't like to stop my work day and go do their work. Like this office send me 4 pages to fill out, and I don't want to. I mean, they sent a PDF. I mean, so why not just have me come in early? Don't tell me I'm coming in early, but just tell me a different appointment time and let me do that stuff while I'm there. Anyway, I got to experience the thing I talk about all the time, and I said, I'm right.
All
And
right. All right.
I'm
Yeah.
right about this. And I think that's why a lot of new patients don't show up, is because they make the appointment and then they get assignments after that. People don't like assignments. Or
Mhm.
they do them, and I don't know, whatever. Because not everybody, of course, I can download it or I can scan it, but I know a lot of people that can't do that. They either don't know how, or they're barely, like I have two sister-in-laws that could never do that. Could never do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
To your point, we're starting to integrate more online appointment forms that go directly into the practice management
That
software.
makes more sense.
Yeah,
Mm,
so those are through some third-party providers, but let's say you have Dentrix, EagleSoft, whatever you have. There's tools that
that's right.
take your patient info and put it in there. You could have them fill it out in the iPad when they're in your office, like you're saying.
Makes so much sense.
Don't make them jump through hoops, get them in there, and then make their life easy.
That's why I look, because I was like, man, I don't even feel like doing this anymore. I don't know.
Yeah,
Do I really need to go? You start doubting. And I think that's where
yeah,
some of these new patient broken appointments coming from. So I agree with you. It should be on the website. And if people want to fill it out in advance, they should be able to go do that.
yeah.
Definitely 100%. Yeah.
Awesome. So, Ollie, real quick, if you can let our listeners know the exclusive deal you have for them.
Yeah, so anyone that comes through you guys and the Dental Gumbo in your group or just mentions Michael or Sandy, we have a 25% off. We could do off our standard, but we'll give you discounts on all our setup fees if you like our plus or premier options. We have 3 different website options. You'll get a discount on all 3 of them. You'll get a free web assessment even before we discuss pricing. Very easy, non-pressured sales approach. Just come talk to us and see if you like what you hear, and if you don't, there's no hard feelings. You'll still walk away with some good information, and if you decide to work with us, we'll give you a great deal.
That sounds great. So that's for any of our listeners, Dental Drill Bit listeners, or members of our Facebook group, Dental Gumbo. Yeah, that's great. Thank you for
Yeah.
that.
Anyone part of your group will take good care of them.
And we
Nice.
appreciate
Nice. And we're
that.
gonna put a link to in the show notes below, so you guys can go check it out and also sign up and everything like that. But awesome. Any final words for this episode, Sandy?
Well, just check out your website, guys. It's time to refresh. It's springtime. It's time to renew, right? Season of renewal. So check them out. Docsites is awesome.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
All righty, guys. So if you want to talk about this episode, come on the podcast or submit any questions, and you can do so by joining the Facebook group Dental Gumbo. And in there, we'll talk. And you can also talk to Ali and pick his brain a little bit more about what we've talked about here and more further things. So thank you all so much for tuning in, and we'll talk to you in the next episode.
Great. Bye, everybody.